Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video and coming back to my channel. It feels so weird saying that. It's been so long since I've sat down and filmed a YouTube video, and I wanted to say that I am really sorry for being absent for so long, but I recently graduated. I moved to a new city. I'm in a new space. I had a new job. I've left that job. I turned 23 and life has been quite crazy lately, but YouTube and makeup has always been the one thing that I've been really passionate about. So right now, when I have a little bit of break in life, I wanted to sit down and start filming videos again. So today we're just gonna sit here, I'm gonna do my makeup and kind of fill everyone in on what's been going on for the past 6, 7, 8 months. So if you're interested to see where I've been at, where my head is at right now, and what I plan on doing moving forward, then let's just get started. Really quick, I just wanted to preface that I hope today's video and lighting isn't too awful. This is the first time that I'm filming in my new apartment, and this is also the first time I've ever done my makeup on my living room floor. Usually I'm sitting in my bedroom on my vanity, but today it was easier to set up my tripod and camera here. I do have my mirror down here, so I'll be looking down there a lot while I do my makeup. To start off, I'm gonna be priming my skin, and I have 2 primers here that I use very often. First is the Nars Tinted Glow Booster. It looks like a foundation, but this doesn't have any coverage. It's literally just to bring a really pretty subtle glow to your skin. And then more in my pore area, like in the center of my face, I use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I'll have all of the products listed down below in the description box in case I forget to mention something. So honestly, I don't even really know where to start. There has been so much that's changed and occurred since the last time I've sat down to film a video, but I guess we can just start with the most obvious one. I have moved. So when I first started my YouTube channel, I was living with my parents in South Florida because, you know, quarantine happened. I came home from school and I was living with them for about 1.5 years while I finished my online classes and just kind of figuring out what I was gonna do after I graduated. So I graduated in December 2020 and I moved out here to Atlanta in March 2021. To finish kind of prepping my skin, I'm gonna be taking my Becca Undereye Corrector in medium to deep to correct my under eye circles. And then I'll be using the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer in medium 1 Custard. It's a pot concealer and I use this to kind of cover up the acne scars that I have left on my cheeks. I did move to Atlanta. I do live alone. I'm in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. And honestly, I love it. I was really scared at first to live alone just because I've always lived with roommates or my parents. So I kind of was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but it's been a really big blessing in disguise that I got to end up living by myself because I think I've really grown up, learned a lot about myself, learned to spend quality time with myself since I'm not always surrounded by company. I moved out here in March and I started my job mid-March, around March 22nd, I believe. And that's when pretty much everything changed in my life. I honestly, looking back, it's just funny to me because I had no idea what I was about to get myself into. If you guys are here from last summer, you'll remember that I interned at PepsiCo, specifically for Frito-Lay. I was a sales management intern, and I remember I used to film like Get Ready With Me and stuff before work because my internship was virtual during COVID. Really quick, I'm gonna be starting with foundation. So I've been mixing these 2 a lot, mainly because this one is a little bit too deep for me, but this is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation, and I have the shade 70 Sand. And because I wanna lighten the shade up a little bit, I've been mixing in the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation Dewy, and this is in the shade Golden Beige Medium Warm. I had a really positive experience with my internship last year. I made a lot of really awesome connections, some friends that I still talk to today, and I really enjoyed working for such a big company. They were very organized, structured. I loved my team, I loved my boss, and so I was really thankful to have received a return offer to move out here in Atlanta and start my career with them. And just to preface, I don't regret my experience working at Frito-Lay at all. I think they're a really awesome company. I had absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into. And I think this is just a big topic to discuss in general. When you have a virtual internship for a job that is so hands-on and so people-oriented, there's definitely going to be a very big gap between what you're seeing for the first time and then what you're doing hands-on every day in the actual role. And I don't think that's anyone's fault. I don't blame anyone. I don't have any anger towards it. But from March to mid-July, my lifestyle was very, very different than what I ever thought I'd be getting myself into. I basically would wake up at 2:30 a.m. every day, and I would be driving trucks. So literally those, those Cheetos, Doritos, Tostitos, like Frito-Lay delivery trucks that the frontline sales team, they operate, they deliver, they merchandise the stores. That's what I was doing. So I blended out my foundation, and for concealer, I'm gonna be using the same two that I've literally been using for like a year now. It's my Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer in the shade Warm Beige. And to lighten it up and kind of highlight the center of my face, I mix in the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer with medium peach. I was out there for like 12 hours a day, stocking these stores, driving these trucks, and it was really freaking hard. So a lot of you might be wondering, like, is that really the job you signed up for? So no, that was not my actual role. I was in the sales management training program. So part of that training program is to put yourself in the shoes of a frontline sales representative and do their role for a few months so that you know what they go through on the daily basis. And I really respect the integrity of that process. Obviously, as like a 4'11", short, petite girl who's like barely physically active, having to do that, working 12 to 14 hours a day at a really bizarre time schedule, it was a lot to handle. And even talking about it now, I'm kind of like, dang, how did you do that? And it was really wild. Till this day, when I tell people about it, I have people like their jaws drop, because when you look at me and then you hear what I'm describing I was doing, it's kind of like, what? Like, how did you end up in that? But again, like I prefaced, I don't have any regrets. I think it was probably the most insane experience I've had to go through, but I would have never gotten it anywhere else. And it did definitely teach me a lot of life lessons that I was kind of seeking. It was a very rewarding experience to see the amount of hands-on physical work you're doing every day, especially when you've never been through something like that. Kind of realize like, okay, like this is something that I thought I was working towards, but maybe this is not what I exactly wanted to get myself into. But now that I'm here, I kind of wanted to see it through, especially as someone who's a very safe and kind of cautious person by nature. Being forced into something that was so out of my comfortability, so different than what I was raised in or taught, in school or anything like that. I think sometimes maybe being pushed into a different role is kind of the only way that I could expand my horizon. Yes, it was really hard. I cried a lot. I was working a lot. I missed my family because I felt very isolated in this job, like when I'm just out there by myself for so many hours a day. But when I look back on it now, I have kind of widened my perspective on a lot of these frontline jobs, and I have tremendous respect for it. I am thankful that I went through it. Would I ever want to do it again? No, but I don't have any regrets about it at all. For cream bronzer, I'll use the Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Light. It's one of my favorite cream bronzers. And then for blush, this e.l.f. Putty blush, and this is in the shade Tahiti. It's like this really pretty mid-tone pink. That's how I kind of spent about 3 months of my time moving out here. And then comes more of like my actual job. It's called on-the-job shadowing, where I kind of got to see what I would be potentially doing full-time by following around someone who's already in that role. And again, it was a really positive experience. I loved the person that I was shadowing. I care for them a lot, and I have no complaints. I have no hatred or bad feelings towards anyone there, but there was kind of a crossroads that we reached in mid-September. there was just gonna be a little bit of a change to my training program. I had come to a realization during the summer and kind of in August that I don't think this was the industry and the role that I wanted to really pursue as my career. And I am someone that likes stability and security. So, you know, leaving my first job out of school so soon was never part of the plan. This kind of crossroads turning point was something that was very unexpected. I had already known in the back of my head that maybe this isn't something that I wanted to do long term. But if there's anything that I learned with my time at Frito-Lay is that very often in life you might not exactly know what you're heading towards, and you just have to be able to adapt and kind of react as quickly as you can with the best of your knowledge and figure out a decision that's going to be best for you. And I'm not going to get emotional about it because it's been a couple of weeks, and trust me, there have been multiple nights that I've been really upset and kind of questioned my decision and if this was the right thing to do, or would I have done something differently if I could go back and change anything. But that's just not how life works. You don't get do-overs. And sometimes you just have to make a decision and be confident in yourself that there's a bigger and better plan for you, and that just because something didn't work out the way you thought it was gonna be, like me staying in this job, doesn't mean that it's the end all be all. It was literally the week before my 23rd birthday, which, you know, a lot of people might be able to compartmentalize the stuff that they're going through in their life, but for me, I'm kind of like I'm all in. I put everything I have into something that I'm doing. And so dealing with that and then having to celebrate a birthday, like there was just a lot going on in my head, and it's not what I imagined. But anyways, just to kind of wrap up that whole job part of my life update, I am really thankful for my experience with Frito-Lay. I care for a lot of my coworkers, my managers. I will always care for them. I do wish everyone that works there the best. I'm telling y'all, being an adult and having to make decisions like this, no one warns you about this. No one warns you about the post-grad life. No one talks about how it can get lonely being away from your friends and your family and making these life-changing decisions on your own. It's hard, and you know, you don't have people that can have these answers for you, because at the end of the day, it's your decision, it's your life, it's impacting you. It's been kind of crazy this past year, just experiencing this new stage of life. To set my face, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I use the shade 10 Fair Light because I like a brighter under eye. I never thought I would be 23 out of college and, you know, be not working so soon after I started, but I guess that is just the path that is being laid out for me right now, and I'm just gonna roll with it. I honestly feel like I'm too young to be sulking and having a lot of doubt around my life choices. I just want to enjoy the stage of life that I'm at right now and work for something that I'm so passionate about, that brings me so much self-fulfillment and joy. So other than the job, I did turn 23 years old. I celebrated with a few of my friends here in Atlanta. My boyfriend and one of my best friends came up from Orlando and spent the weekend with me, and it was so fun. For bronzer, I'm gonna be using this Milani Silky Matte bronzer in the shade 03 Suntan. In addition to my 23rd birthday, my birthday is on September 18th, but on the 17th is mine and my boyfriend's anniversary. We also celebrated our 3-year anniversary together, which is so special. Every year that passes by, it feels like it's flying by. I feel like it was just yesterday that I even met him. We met freshman year in school, and he's also my best friend, and it's really fun getting to date your best friend. For blush, I'm gonna be using this e.l.f. blush. It's in the shade Always Rosy. I guess the biggest thing to talk about now, and kind of the last thing I want to cover, is what happens next. Where do I go from here? What the hell am I doing, basically? If you are working for something or pursuing something that is not your dream or doesn't spark that fire inside of you to like wake up every day and be so fulfilled with what you're doing, I will be the first person to tell you that it's not worth it and that life is too short, and if your circumstances are willing for you to make a change in a better direction for yourself, you should 100% go for it. When you leave a job or you leave anything that's not making you happy, you shouldn't take it lightly. I am aggressively job hunting, but I am being very careful and taking my time and just applying to industries and roles that I think really fit my persona. The biggest thing I've learned, it's not always about what the company will do for you. It's not about, you know, their name or their standing in the industry. It's also about what you bring to the table. So what skills you have, what type of work environment do you thrive in, and how you can be a value-added member in their team. I'm not gonna downplay my worth. I know what I have to offer. I know what I can bring. I know that I have the motivation, the dedication, the passion for certain industries and certain jobs, but it also has to be a good fit for them. I just wanted to show you some palettes I've been using a lot lately. On the daily basis, I normally only do matte eyeshadow. I don't really even apply shimmers. And so the first one is the Makeup by Mario Master Matte Eyeshadow Palette. This is what it looks like. It's just the perfect collection of neutral matte browns that you can just use in your crease. And then I also really love a hint of pink in my eyeshadow. So I've been using the KKW Beauty Matte Mauves palette a lot. Unfortunately, this isn't available right now because they are going through a rebrand. But if it ever comes back in the future, highly recommend. To start off, I'm gonna be using this brown shade all in my crease. It barely shows up on my skin tone, but it does enough to kind of add a little bit of definition. All of that kind of boils down to, I love makeup. I am obsessed with makeup, and not even just applying makeup, but I am quite literally obsessed with the beauty industry. I watch countless YouTube videos, TikToks, articles. I knew from a young age that I didn't want to be a makeup artist as my career, but I am so intrigued by influencer collaborations and brand partnerships and giveaways and how the social media accounts are run, and all of that is just genuinely so intriguing to me. I'm sure many of you know the news, how Ulta and Target have merged, have a partnership, and now Ultas are in certain Targets. I geeked over that partnership for weeks when it was first announced, and also when I first saw it in store, because I truly think that innovative ideas like that is what is keeping the beauty industry moving towards this like billion-dollar business. Like, it is not slowing down, and I want to be a part of that and just, you know, put to use the skills that I learned in school and even at Frito-Lay, but just towards an industry and a cause and products that I genuinely care about. Now switching over to the Matte Mauves palette, I like to take these two center shades and they add just like a touch of pink. My efforts are definitely focused on the beauty industry, you know, the personal care industry, but you also can't just put all your eggs in one basket. So I have been applying to a lot of entry-level marketing jobs in Atlanta, remote jobs, even willing to relocate if that's what it comes down to. Looking for a job after you graduate is so hard. If any of you are still in school and you know you're a junior, you're a senior, and you're thinking about the next steps of your career, I highly recommend that you find what you love while you're still in school. If anyone can relate to that, please let me know, because I would love to know that I'm not spiraling just by myself and that maybe other people are going through this too. I am going to use this e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick in the shade Champagne Crystal. It's like this cream shadow, and I use this in my inner corner to kind of bring that pop back to my eyes. All right, so eyeshadow is done. It's a really simple matte kind of neutral pink eye. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my eyebrows, eyeliner, and mascara off camera, since it's easier to do it that way because I have to be so close to my mirror. Ta-da! First, before I spray my face with setting spray, I like to take a pressed powder and kind of just set the rest of my face. This is the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Finishing Powder in the shade Light Medium. I do have dry skin, so I don't like to really mattify my face, but I also don't want it to look like I'm excessively sweating just because my skin is really dewy. For lips, I'm going to be taking my Milani Color Statement Lip Liner in 04 All Natural. And then for my actual lip color, I'm just gonna go in with the Tower 28 Milky Lip Jelly in the shade Cashew. It's like a rosy brown kind of shade. And that is the final look. I'm just gonna spray my face with the Milani Make It Last setting spray. It's probably my last use out of it. This is like my third bottle that I've gone through. I just kind of want to wrap this video up here. I hope you guys like the final makeup look. I think it looks really fresh. All of the products will be listed down below in the description box if you're interested in picking anything up. I wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone that has supported me, you know, not on camera, just in my normal life. I would have not been able to make a lot of these decisions or get through some of these months without having the genuinely most amazing support system. I don't think anything in life is easy unless you have people that are helping you through and cheering you on and telling you that you're gonna make it, even during the times that it feels like you're not gonna make it. And so wanted to end the video there. I want to be back on YouTube. I want to film way more makeup focused videos, kind of get back into the swing of things. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.